Okay, Lisa, we're live.
Hey there, Chi fam. Hope everybody's doing well in this crazy heat.
Oh my gosh, yep.
Whew.
I think it was like what, 99 degrees today?
I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. Let me check the weather.
I think this whole week was like near 100 or over 100. It doesn't even matter. Anything past 95 degrees is considered 100 degrees in my book.
Yeah, I take my walks roughly about 6:30, and it's by the time I come back, I'm drenched.
This morning at 5 a.m., it was like 80 degrees outside. You know that?
Yeah, yeah, it was super hot last night. I had a really tough time sleeping.
My God. Oh, yeah, and your AC's busted.
I know. I worked it overtime, and
No
unfortunately,
fan? No ceiling fan?
I do. Luckily, we have ceiling fans
Oh,
in
good.
almost every single room, but it's not the same, so it's not as
Yeah,
bad. But still.
I know. I turn the ceiling fan on and I turn the AC on. And my AC degree, I always put it to 72 degrees at night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I put it cold because my son, he sweats and he always even though he doesn't sleep with blanket, he still sweats. So I have to turn the AC on. Otherwise, he'll just cry all night.
Oh.
So I have to turn it cold. And I turn the fan on. So yeah, that's the only way to get him to sleep. Otherwise, I'll be staying up all night partying with him.
Oh.
But okay, we got a few people on. What is going on, everybody? We need to cover market trends. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick. First things first, market trend. But of course, after that, we're going to be talking about ways to find affordability in this market because this market is freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
High rates, high prices, no homes for sale. Well, not enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a crazy time right now. So we're gonna try to do what we can to give you guys some advice. If you guys are in the market right now, still looking to buy a home, and hopefully you guys could utilize these tips that we're gonna share with you guys today. But that's gonna be after the market update. So let me just go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okay, Sac County. So here's a good thing about this. Inventory is going up, right? Um, but I feel like these inventory homes are just homes that's falling back into the market because when rates went up a few weeks ago, I think everybody went into panic mode, Lisa, and they're like, "Shoot, I can't afford my payment no more. It's too high. I'm canceling."
Yeah.
You think that's what happened? So
Oh,
all
for
those pending
sure.
homes went back to active.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that, well, let me take that back. There's just a lot of people who don't really know the true qualification of what you can and can't do. And we'll share that a little bit later. But yeah, it probably, they looked at all their bills and their monthly expenses, and that interest rate definitely could make a huge difference in your payments.
Yeah, for reals. Hello, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Good to see you with us today. But yeah, we do have more inventory. Um, New listings though went down from last week, almost 6%. Sold homes went down too, like 13% basically. See, pending homes went down too, 3%. So I feel like all of this is just a contributor to the total amount of listings increasing right here. So even though inventory is going up, I think it's just because of a contributor from the pending homes that buyers are canceling on. Sabrina says, I see homes in my area on the market going down in price. Yeah, I think it's happening everywhere. A lot of sellers right now are kind of also scared that their home's gonna sit because rates went up. And I think due to the fact that it's back on the market because a buyer had to cancel due to rate increases, they're scared. So they go into panic mode and then they reduce the price. You
Mm-hmm.
know? So we're gonna talk more about that later. I'm gonna go over some actual live listings with you guys about that, Sabrina. But yeah, prices are slowly going down in price. Okay. But let's look at the month previously. Okay. So yeah, see, inventory went up 33% from last month. New listings are down 2%. Sold homes down 5%. Pending homes 5%. Okay. So this is last month and this is last week. All right. Let's go over here. Average price per square foot went up from last week almost 5%, but from last month it went down slightly, almost a 1% per square foot. Right? Days on the market, no change, still 14 days. So on average, within 14 days, a seller will go into contract and the home will no longer become active. Okay. And if you look here, like sellers are still getting over asking. Okay, so that kind of goes hand in hand with what Sabrina was saying about home price going down. Some of these listings that are reducing in price are still getting over asking. Okay, because how it works is some sellers put the home, let's say, on the market for like 500K list price, but then they go pending at maybe 550. And then when it comes back on the market, they don't put it back on the market for 500K. They probably put it back on the market for like 510 because the offers they got before they went pending was 550. So they want something close to that. So that's what's kind of going on that I'm seeing. So sellers are still getting what they want from last month. I mean, average days on the market went up 1 day. So still technically 2 weeks. Yeah, see? So like from last month, 100% of sellers are still getting what they're asking for and a little bit more. Average price sold and sell. Active price, see? So active price. That's the price, the listing price or the asking price sellers are putting for their homes. So it is decreased from last week, but you see the sold went up 7%. So this is where I want you guys to be very careful with the media, with the headlines you guys see on the news, social media. Yes, the market is slowing down, but not to that degree to where a crash is coming, or yes, homes are reducing in price, but not that drastic to where it's creating a real shift that's really needed in this market. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that. And this is from last month. Average active price went down 4%. Sold price from last month went down 2%. Okay, average. So last month, last week. Let's go to months worth of inventory. Okay. 1 month. And from last month, 1.6. Yeah. We're still in the seller's market, okay? Seller's market. We're still in the seller's market. What's going on, Twa? Thanks for sharing. Yeah, of course. Every time I get a chance to share all this information with you guys, I'm gonna share it just so that way you guys can be more informed about the market, about what's going on in the economy. Because this is gonna be able to help you guys decide how you guys want to prepare your offer. Because for those of you guys that are still buying a home, this is important data to understand, to study, so that way you guys can decide how to write your offers. Okay, and we are getting a little bit more inventory, but still well below that 3 month that we want to see. Okay, so that's why homes are still considered being sold in the seller's market right now. But that is the data for this week and last month. Okay, let me just remove this. All right, next we're gonna go. I'm gonna let Lisa share with you guys. Okay, some ways to kind of find affordability if you're a buyer right now when it comes to like tackling these high rates. Okay, because me and Lisa found out recently that not a lot of buyers, especially first time home buyers, that know that they have this option. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna let Lisa share that, but let me just read some comments real quick. Sabrina says, what should we expect the home sales or rates to look like in September, November? Fed doesn't meet in September, I think. Thoughts on a possible recession? Lisa, you want to share?
Yeah. So there's so many things that's going on right now. One of the things that's affecting, well, the biggest thing that's affecting rates and everything is inflation. Okay, guys. And as you can see, you go to get food, you go to the restaurants, you go get gas, you already see the price increase and how it affects our economy as a whole, materials, goods, everything. If you guys know something else that's cheaper, because I don't know anything that's cheaper right now, um, including mortgage rates. So last week, what happened was that the inflation report came out. Typically, when that happens, everybody's a little bit on the fence, all the economists and everything like that. So they do prepare for that by pricing things in the market, the stock market, as well as the mortgage industry and every other product and goods out there to hedge for that. Unfortunately, that report actually came back a lot more unfavorable than the professionals thought. So with that scare, the mortgage it pushed the mortgage interest rates to go up during that time. Okay. And although it's got slightly better, they've already stated, the Fed's already stated that they are going to increase it in July and they're going to increase it again in September. So if it heads into 8%, don't be surprised. And I know a lot of you who are listening to this may be like, oh my goodness, I thought 4% was crazy. I thought 5% was crazy. So I'm going to price out what it was on the worst day last week. So if you happen to be in that situation, these are a couple of things that you can note. Okay. Gio, may I share?
Yeah, go for it. Before you share, let me kind of share my take on this. Sabrina, I feel like home prices or home sales are still gonna be high because we don't have inventory. Okay, supply and demand is still gonna always be a factor despite inflation, right? And speaking of inflation, inflation is going up. Fed said it. Um, they're um, they're raising rates to tackle inflation. I don't know why that makes sense, but I'm trying to make sense of it. And the only thing I came up with is they're trying to slow down the market. So that doesn't make any sense too, because you're increasing rates so that people can spend less, or it's going to cost them more to spend. So it's going to incentivize them to not want to spend. So they're spending less, right? So now that they're spending less, the market is slower because there's less people spending money. So it's not really to tackle inflation for the increase of rates. I feel like it's just to slow it down so that way people will stop buying or borrowing. That doesn't make any sense, right? That's what I came up with. How do you feel about that, Lisa?
So I get what you guys, I get what you feel in that, Chia, because realistically, if we don't have a way for people to buy more and everything, that's just going to continue to increase, right? And on the other end, though, just keep in mind that, these funds are borrowed money from the feds. And if we can continue to increase our deficit, okay, that's what's going to hurt us as well. So there's a lot of pieces that come into it. Inflation is a huge thing. Okay. And even with the mortgage going up, keep in mind, people who are buying to invest, they are very careful right now with their funds as well, because not everything is doing well right now. You guys already saw the tank in the stock market. Many of you guys that have crypto already saw that tank. I feel it too. I have those assets as well. Well, they're not really that big of an asset anymore, but It's going to affect everything. If that shifts, this is where what comes first, the chicken or the egg. We're in a tight situation economically, right? Are they going to change that to help the economy a little bit more? They help the economy a little bit more, and then all of a sudden we have this huge deficit. So how do we balance that out? Right? How do we balance that out as a whole? So it's not just this one piece, but we are tied to everything else, and it's all a ripple effect. And that's where we got to deal with. And the only thing that you can control is whether or not these payments will be affordable to you. Okay. So whenever you're ready, let me know, Gia.
All right, I'm ready. Sabrina says supply and demand. They're trying to slow down the shopping since the supply isn't there. China
Yep.
closing down due to COVID. It's cut down the supply. Yes, Lisa, you hit the nail on the head.
Thanks,
Good
Sabrina.
job, Lisa.
Okay,
All right,
so
go ahead.
Okay.
You're gonna share your screen, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me know when it comes on. I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay.
I see it. It's bigger.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a income calculation with you. Okay. So let's just assume that there's two people in a household that both make $24 an hour, and let's just assume that you get to take home 75% of that. Okay. This is gonna be important for later on. Okay. So when I calculate your income to see what you qualify, that's what I'm showing. Let's assume you have one car, you have one car payment, nothing else. Okay. In that situation, based on, and I'm going to only use one scenario for now to make it simplified. Okay. And if you'd like me to test out other scenarios for you, I'm more than happy to do so. But for simplicity's sake, let's just say these 4 scenarios are for a 5% down conventional loan. Okay. So last week on the worst day, guys, interest rates went up as high as 6.875. And again, this is with prime credit score. That was Thursday morning for us. And yeah, it felt like the sky was falling for many, many people who didn't cushion for the fact that, hey, just in case, have some wiggle room. This is what your monthly payment is going to look like. So what is the rest of the scenarios for? So the rest of the scenarios is that during this time, in the last several years, not a lot of people actually bought down interest rate. And buying down an interest rate means you can buy a cheaper interest rate. So a lot of times when people go internet shopping and they see this flashing red thing where it says, oh my gosh, the interest rate is only this much. You see, this is the difference. There's a 1% difference. This variance, this margin, sometimes varies a lot. In the situation, okay, if you were to buy down 1%, which for a $475,000 home would be $4,750. 1.5 points would be $7,125. 2 points is $9,500. So the difference in cost is about $9,500. Okay, is it worth it for you? Okay, let's go ahead and see your savings plan. So in these scenarios, if you were to keep the regular interest rate based on your net income, and this is important because although the bank will qualify you, the lending guidelines will qualify you for your gross income, you know that this is how much you get to actually keep after Uncle Sam takes that portion. The other thing that the lending guidelines don't have to do is that they don't consider your cell phone bill, your internet phone bill, your car insurance, if you have life insurance, which is also very important. Okay. These are all the regular bills. And let's just say your household food bill is about $400. Gas is about $400, probably more right now if you're driving more. If you have kids expenses, if you go to the gym, if you have Amazon, Netflix, and Hulu, and most of us do, this is what it looks like, even with one car. So in that situation, okay, I'm going to go back here. In that situation, if you were to keep this interest rate and didn't look at that, you'd be in the red every single month. So all the negatives, you'd be in the red. If you were to buy down the interest rate to get it to be at least here, And again, this is a worst case scenario from last week, so that you can see that even if it goes back to that again, and it probably will, if you're in this situation, you're still okay. If you buy down the interest rate, is it worth it for you? Take a look, guys. You're now in the positive. So even though it costs you an additional $9,500, in only 2 years, you're already making up more than half of that. So if you know you're going to be staying here for a while, it might be worth it for you to take a look at those options, and also understand that the lower your rate is, okay, a lot of times people who Chia mentioned earlier, that a lot of people who were already in escrow got booted out. They didn't understand that they had the option to buy it down. So if your lender is somebody that is a big company, that you don't actually have a person, an actual loan officer that you can speak to directly, and you didn't know that you could buy down the interest rate, I hope that you get a chance to know it right now. And if your loan officer has not told you that, if your realtor has not told you that, definitely revisit and take a look at that. It might be very worth it for you to do that.
Lisa,
And yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
If for a scenario where a buyer they had already locked their loan for
Yeah.
30 days, right? And it's getting ready to close, and then Feds increase the rates or whatever, or no, let me take it back. Feds increase the rate. Buyers got in contract, rates are super high now before they could lock it. And now they're stuck with a high rate at 6.8. When they lock it, let's say they were okay with it. Can they, and they don't know if they want to buy down the rate, can they still buy down the rate before closing after they locked?
Yes, yes. So a lot of people don't know this. It's kind of like when you have these options to you and you say, hey, you know what? I'm not so sure I want to buy down the rate yet, but I know for sure I don't want to miss the mark, and I want to lock it right now. And every lender works different. So I definitely want you to talk to your lender and make sure that they have that option for you. I have a client right now in the same situation. They really like the 1.5% buy down, okay? But they're still kind of teeter-tottering with it. If you lock it today, those 4 options are still available to you. Okay? So say, for instance, you didn't have the funds to buy down the rate. Okay? So you were forced to choose the highest one at that time. Then come closing, somebody comes in, or you get this big bonus that you didn't know that you were going to get. I was like, oh my gosh, now I have it. Can I redo this? Yes, you can. However, just keep in mind, if we do that, we do have to redisclose. So it may take a few more days in order to get everything ready or re-ready, especially if your loan documents are already out and ready for you to sign, then everybody has to redo all of that for you. But if that's the case, I would say, if you have somebody negotiating on your behalf, the other party should be very understanding, because the market is what it is right now.
Right. And why can't maybe you can explain this. Why can't a buyer, when they lock in the rate, let's say they lock in at 6.8, and let's say miraculously rates went down to like 5.75. They're like, oh my God, can I cancel my existing rate lock and go and lock a new rate? Why can't they do that? Can't they do that, or why can't they do that?
It's not. There are some lenders that will take that risk and that hit you, but it's very, very costly. Here's the reason why. Okay, here's the reason why. The money doesn't come from the bank, guys. It comes from the Feds, regardless of what type of loan that it is. So when you're quote unquote getting a loan, you're basically buying money. The lenders buy money from the Feds, and once you lock it, they say, hey, I'm going to buy it at this rate. It's kind of like when you go buy a stock, and then tomorrow it's got lower. Can you go back and say, hey, I want to cancel that transaction? You can't, because there's real money involved, even though it's not in your hands just yet.
Right.
Okay. So if there's a lot of margin, sure, but very rarely. I have not seen a lender doing that during this time, because it's so risky.
What can happen?
In
for
what
the
sense?
client and the lender.
What do you mean? No,
The
it's
risk.
not risky for the clients, risky for the lender to do that.
Why
Because
would it
let's
be
just say,
risky
for
for the
instance,
lender?
it's kind of like when you go to another country and it's a money conversion type of thing. Your dollar is worth more than uh, a peso, right? But
Okay.
then the economy flips. They're doing better over there, and now the peso is worth more than a dollar,
Holy
right?
moly.
So it's very similar to that concept. So if they did that, again, they'd be losing money. And it's not just that one transaction. Banks make money by doing multiple loans. And if they consistently do that, they would absolutely lose a lot of money. It's like they're buying a dollar for 90 cents.
Got it. Another
Okay.
question.
Mm-hmm.
How long can a buyer lock in their rates?
So it depends on the lender. They can lock it in 15, 30, 45, or 60 on our end. The cheapest one would be 15, but rarely does that happen because there's so many things that can fall apart during that time. If you need an extension for inspections, the appraisal doesn't come in right away. Appraisals are actually a lot shorter now that refinances aren't, a big thing as much
Thank
anymore.
goodness.
Yeah, so our appraisals have been coming in pretty darn quick, so that wouldn't be an issue. But usually it's an inspection thing. Solar, if the house has solar and it takes longer for them to transfer, some solar companies just have a really, really long turn time, and it has nothing to do with the buyer.
Got it. Okay, good to know.
Mhm.
Sabrina's asking, how do you buy down the rate? Where does the money come from? Out of pocket?
It does come out of pocket from you guys. Okay, so the $9,500 that I was telling you earlier, that's something that a buyer would have to come in with, and you got to take a look at whether or not it makes sense for you. And earlier, when I priced it out for you guys, okay, it shows that in about 2 years, you're already saving the difference of over $5,000. So you got to take a look at how long does it take for you to recuperate that cost. And let's just say, for instance, for this person, it's about 3.5 years, right? And in that 3.5 years, do you know for a fact that you probably won't be moving, right? Or let's just say if you do move, is it still worth it for you? Is that difference still worth it for you to save on a monthly basis so that you're not bleeding every month, right? If you were to choose the top one, the chart that I showed you shows that you'd be bleeding every single month. And how stressful would that be for anyone? And how more stressful would it be if you were a parent with a young child, right?
Lisa, you know
Mhm.
how interest rate is a factor towards DTI for a buyer
Yes,
purchasing power? If they
yes,
buy down the rate, would that increase their purchasing power?
yes. The lower so let me go ahead and share you that chart again.
Okay. Sabrina also says, how long, while you're putting that screen up, how long do you have to buy down the rate?
How long? You mean when you're in escrow already? If that's the case, as soon as you can lock it, you can go ahead and buy down probably at least a week prior to closing your loan so that we don't have to redo documentation and the lender has time to meet the deadlines for you. But you have a good amount of time.
Got it. Okay, I see a screen coming.
Okay,
Did you maximize your?
I did.
There it goes.
Yay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over to option number 1 and number 2. As you can see in these options with all of your expenses, again, expenses that the bank doesn't always consider, okay? You're still in the red. If we're going to go into the chart, okay, as long as your debt to income ratio is below 50%, your situation is good most of the time, okay? Putting 5% down will allow you on a conventional loan to go up to 50% debt to income ratio. Okay, so you see how at 6.875, you're already at the cusp. As interest rate went up, look at that. Your qualification is now no more. So there's always an option to buy down. And right now, well, even before this, I would advise all my people to be very prepared, even though I tell you this is the cash to close. prepare to have at least $3,000 to $5,000, because you also want to have the opportunity. Sorry.
What
Okay.
was you saying?
But you also want to have the opportunity to walk out. What if you go into a house and once you do the inspection, you find out there's a whole bunch of other stuff? This is where I'm going to also say, don't step over dollars to pick up pennies. Yes, there's not a lot of inventory. Yes, there's it's still a seller's market, and yes, the home prices are getting high and everything like that. And you know, don't put yourself in the situation where, gosh, I already spent $1,000 on the appraisal and the inspection. I'm stuck. You're not. You're not. So prepare yourself to say, hey, while I'm home shopping, if I have to let go of about $3,000 to $5,000, I'll be okay with that.
Yes. Lisa is saying to buffer.
Yes.
You always want to leave room for buffer because, again, if you come across a home, that's super competitive, you want to leave a buffer to where you could compete in your offer. And if you, let's say this scenario, you want to buy down your rate, leave buffer on your closing costs for down payment and closing cost savings. So that way you have that option, because in this scenario, you could probably recoup that buy down fee in a couple years.
Yep.
Is that worth it for you? Because to some individuals, that might be worth it because the rates are so high, they don't want to make a $2,500 payment buying down, which cost them, let's say, a couple $1,000. Now their payment's $2,000. That's more manageable. Because maybe they don't want to give up that a weekly date with their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
So that monthly payment is super important. So everybody's situation is different, but of course that's why you got to talk to your loan advisor and see what works best for you. Every loan officer, right, Lisa, should have the option to offer loan buy down, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, yeah. And shoot, I got a brain fart. I was gonna say something, I totally forgot.
It's the heat. It's the heat.
But I feel good though. Remember, my house is at 72 degrees. I'm just messing. But so now that you guys kind of have an idea of how to get your loan to be at an affordable payment for you by buying down the rate, like what Lisa mentioned, when you know the numbers, right?
Yep.
And you're out there now looking at homes with your agent, I want you guys to start targeting certain homes. This is where this strategy is going to work out for you to find affordability options for you, okay, in this crazy market, okay? So let me just share my screen with you guys. I want you guys to see this, okay? You guys already know. You guys hear me say this, right? Where I always say, look at home that's been reduced in price, or look at a home that's been on the market for over 30 days. Okay, so let's say you tell your agent, hey, I only want to look at a home that's over 30 days. Why 30 homes? I mean, why 30 days? Because those homes are most likely gonna be sellers that's motivated to sell at a discount compared to what they initially listed it for. So you might be able to get a deal, and a deal might not equal a lower price. It might mean that they're willing to give you a lot of concessions, like do all of the repairs, um, give you closing cost credit. Hey, Lisa, I forgot to mention, can closing cost credit from a seller be utilized as a buy down rate towards?
Yes, it can, because buying down the rate is a part of closing costs.
There you go. So
So absolutely. Mhm.
let's say you come across a home that's been on the market for over 30 days and the seller is motivated and he's going to be willing to give you concessions and certain items. Maybe you might want to ask for seller credit. Use that seller credit towards buying down your rate. Hey, now it's not coming out of your pocket, it's coming out from the seller's pocket. That's a great idea, right? So, okay, let's go look. Okay, let's go look at homes. let's just say 500K. Okay. Let's just say you're looking for a 3 bedroom, 2 bath with 2 car garage, of course, in Sacramento. Okay. All right, days on the market, right? Minimum 30 days. This is where you're gonna need your agent's help, okay? Or you can go through your own list, but it's gonna take you a long time. But you just click on this, minimum 30 days on the market. Look at the homes, okay? So these are all gonna be homes that's at least minimum 30 days on the market right now. Okay, so let's go look. I don't know what area you guys want to be in, but so I'm just gonna randomly pick. Okay. So this one just came back on the market. It's been on the market for over 31 days. Barely cut the mark. Okay. So another thing I also want to make a disclaimer on, okay. If it's on the market for 30 days, you also gotta find out why. Has it ever been in contract? If it's been in contract before, then that 30 day is questionable. Okay. Because it's probably not necessarily on the market for a long period of time because nobody likes it. It's probably been on the market for a long period of time because the buyer that was in contract with it canceled, and now the seller has to put it back on the market. So now all those times that it went pending gets added onto the days of the market that it went active initially. So this is a perfect example. Let's go look at the property history. Okay, it was put on the market in May, right? And then literally within so in 26 days, this home in 26 days went pending. Okay, so this one took a while. It went pending, and then literally a couple weeks after that, it came back on the market. So they did not reduce price on this shit, but I kind of feel like just by looking at this, because it took such a short amount of time to come back on the market, there might be something wrong with the home, or the buyers might have had cold feet, or maybe got scared because the rates went up. Okay, so let's look if there's any notes. Oh, never mind. The buyers had to cancel because they lost finance right here.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the notes that's not public for you guys, but your agent will be able to see it. And look, this buyer lost financing, so they had to cancel. So it wasn't nothing wrong with the home. Okay, it was just a fact that it took them 26 days to get a buyer interested. They accepted a buyer's offer, but the buyer's financing got kicked out because rates probably went up, and now they no longer qualify for this purchase price because they were probably looking at their maximum debt to income ratio when it was like 5.5%. And then the moment it went to 8, oh, the 500K price limit budget went down to 450. They could no longer afford this home. They had to cancel. This is a perfect example of what happened and why homes are coming back on the market. It's because of this. So I feel like within the next 2 weeks, if they don't go back in contract with a new buyer, they may reduce price on this. So this might still qualify for a good candidate to where you might want to go look at it. And if you like it, you might be able to get a deal on this one. Okay. Let's look at the next one. Okay, so this one's been 117 days on the market. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a winner. Okay, so let's look at the property. Came on the market in February. Really? No. Oh man, came on the market, dude. Wow. Okay, this home came on the market last year in April of 2021, and then in 90 days they canceled because they couldn't get it into contract. So they canceled. They didn't reduce the price. They canceled. And then they put it back on the market as a new listing in October. I was about to say 100 days. April like last year. That's like 300 plus days. Okay, so I see what they did here. So this is what happened. the reason why the days on the market only shows 117 and not 365 or so is because they changed it. They removed it off the market and they put it back on the market as a new listing. When you do that, the timer goes back to 0. So that's why. Technically, it's been on the market since last year. Okay.
Hmm. That's an
So
interesting one, Gia, because it's like it listed for 360 and went back on the market for 400. But it's kind of crazy because last year for that price point, everybody was wanting that price point.
So I think I already kind of know what's wrong with this home, Lisa, but let's just
I was
kind
gonna
of
ask you what's
yeah,
wrong with it.
let's just kind of go through this real quick and then I'll go on to my 2 cents why it's taking so long. So yeah, it came back on the market from April of last year. They removed it off the market and then they put it back on the market in October of 2021. New price, like what Lisa said, 400K, no longer 360. 67 days later, no bite. Never went pending. They removed it
Mhm.
expired. It expired. This seller actually went with the new agent to list the home. Oh no, never mind. Sorry. Yeah, so it expired. They removed it off the market for a while, and then February this year they put it back on the market for 440. $40,000 more than what they initially put it on in October, and $40,000 more. Each time it came back on market is $40,000 more.
That's kind of crazy. Hey, Chia, one of our viewers actually said that on your side there's a lot of echo.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a lot of echo, huh?
I don't hear
Noise.
Chia's echo at all.
Yeah, we tested this earlier and there was like no echo, right?
Yeah, I don't hear it at all.
I'm sorry, Kim, but thank you so much for notifying us. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys still hear me okay though? Or is the echo so unbearable? Maybe when I'm talking, I might have to mute you.
Okay, so
It's not that bad. Okay, I muted Lisa. How's the echo now, Chai or Kim? So Lisa, if you want to say something, you're gonna have to private chat me, okay? Thumbs up if you hear me. Yes, we can hear. Oh, it's perfect now. Okay, so I muted you, Lisa, and then now it's perfect per Chai. Echo just comes directly after you say something. Is it better now, Sabrina, or is it just Chai that's perfect for? Yes, it's good now. Yeah, okay, it's muting from Lisa. It was you. You were the culprit. Okay, so whenever Lisa's gonna say something, she's just gonna private chat me and I'll unmute her and I'll and then I'll just mute me, I guess, when she talks. Man, that's okay. They love you, Lisa. Okay, so here's what I feel about this home. It came back on the market in February for 440. Okay, each time it came back on the market, um, it's just increasing in price. Let's find out why it hasn't gone in contract yet. Okay, because it's been on the market since February. Man. Okay, so well maintained, biggest lot, RV access, new roof, new HVAC, patio cover. Okay, let's go look at the private. Send highest and best offer. If I would have to say something about this home, is it vacant? Okay, it's an appointment, so maybe a owner lives there, maybe a tenant lives there. If I would have to make a guess on this home, you guys, there's only one photo. Normally, when there's only one photo, that means that they don't want you seeing all their private stuff inside the house, and it's probably a tenant. the tenant probably doesn't want you to see their personal belongings, items, etc. Because once you post those pictures, it becomes public. So I think this tenant is probably really uncooperating when it comes to showings. That might be one. Two, it doesn't show that well to where maybe when buyers go and see it, they don't like it because of the condition. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not saying it's going towards this home, but sometimes buyers will go and look at homes that have tenants. And sometimes tenants are not cooperating and they don't want to move. So what they do is they know that if the home gets sold, they have to get out, buy a new home, and they probably don't want to move. So sometimes some tenants, I'm not saying it's this one, okay? Sometimes some tenants make the experience really, really bad for the buyers when they tour. For example, last week I put out a Facebook post saying, how come some listing agents don't tell their tenants or the occupants that they're getting ready to show the house and the buyer is going to be coming in with their agent? And at least give a heads up to the buyer's agent saying, hey, I notified the tenants, they didn't respond. So just FYI, some room are going to be off limits. Nothing, right? The listing agent didn't give us any information about that. So we went in, me and my client, we went into this home, into a home, not this home, but we went into a home, okay? And when we went to a home, we opened up the door. I knocked, I rang the doorbell, nobody. So I'm like, okay, great. They probably vacated the house so that we could take a tour. That wasn't the case. I went to the first bedroom. I knocked and then I opened. A tenant comes out and they go, what the heck are you guys doing? Get out of my room. You're not allowed to come into my room. And I was scared. My client was scared. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I closed the door. We went to the second bedroom. Same exact thing. Get out of here. Why are you in my room? You're not supposed to be in my room. I'm like, oh my gosh. So from there, the impression's already off. My client doesn't want to see this house no more. They want to get the heck out of there. I want to get the heck out of there too because I don't even know if it's safe for my clients anymore, right? What if something happens to us? So, anyways, we got out and I had to vent. So I went on Facebook and posted that. I didn't share who it was, but the audacity of not notifying us that, hey, the rooms are off limits. If the listing agent would have did that, we would have never have encountered that experience, and my buyer would not have felt so jaded. So sometimes, again, I'm not saying it's this house. Sometimes tenants do that so that the experience for the buyers touring it will be horrible. So that leads to them not wanting to submit an offer. Okay. The other thing is, I noticed this home is on Grand. Okay, Grand is a busy street, y'all. It's like a main road. Appraisers call these main roads feeder streets, meaning everybody goes to that street. They go to that street to get out. They go to that street to get in. They go to that street to go everywhere. So it's a feeder street. So it's busy. That takes away from the value. Okay, this is right on it. So that means getting into your home is going to be difficult. Getting out from your vehicle is going to be difficult. So that could be another factor. The third thing is maybe something's wrong with the home. It's been on the market 3 times now, way over 117 days. So I think at this point, the fact that they did not reduce the price makes me also think this seller is probably stubborn, or this seller is probably not that serious about selling this home. They're just testing the market. What do you think, Lisa? I'm gonna let you speak now.
So I saw the comments, but just so that you guys know, I don't have access to respond to that. I just wanted to let you guys know I love you guys too. I see that. But as far as this goes, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, okay? Sometimes the seller may not actually be able to sell it for less because maybe their loan is too high. Maybe they got a home equity line of credit too, and it's like, well, if I sell it for less, that means I can't afford to pay back my loan. That could be a case.
Sorry, I gotta mute you before I talk. That's true. That might be the situation for this seller. We don't know. But then this could be a potential. Okay. If this is a home that checks off for all your lists as a first time home buyer, then this might be a potential home to where you might be able to negotiate on it. Maybe it might not be priced because we already know they're not reducing the price because it's been this long. It's going up in price, right? But maybe they might be willing to fix some of the homes, maybe work with a tenant. I don't know, like get the house clean, like give you certain incentives. Seller credit. All right. Let's go on to the next home. Okay. Hopefully you guys are kind of getting an idea on what I'm getting you guys to target. Okay. All right. So this home looks nice. Okay. Twin leaf. All right. Looks remodeled. Let's find out. Okay. Let's go to property history. Okay. New picture. Huh. Okay. This is probably when they bought it and then they flipped it because it looks different now. Okay, so this home came on the market in April for 480. Took 27 days and then they reduced the price 10K. See, so this is typical right now. If your home is getting close to 30 days and there's no offers, reduce the price. If nothing's wrong with the home because it looks like it's remodeled, then it's probably your price. Reduce the price. Okay, so they reduced the price just a few weeks ago. So they might start getting more action. Okay, but let's say that even with this, okay, what I forgot to do too was do comps. Let's do comps. Okay, let's see this home is worth 480, what they initially put it on the market for. Doing comps is good because it's going to also give you a good indicator what type of market we're going to be heading into. Because if it's worth more, but they had to reduce their price and they're still not getting offers, the market is definitely going to be shifting soon. However long that takes, I don't know, a year, 2 years. But okay, so there's another home in the area that's for 540, but that's like 2,000 square foot. This one's only 1,580. So the closest one is this one. All right, this one is 1,500, a little bit smaller than the subject property, but it came on the market for a lot higher too. So let's look at this real quick. Oh, this one's nice. It's only been 5 days on the market. It looks like it's remodeled. Okay, it's vacant, so there's no tenant, nobody that's gonna give you a hard time when you're viewing it. Okay, so this one is nice. Okay, $499. We'll see if they get that. Okay, if not, 30 days. You already know what they're gonna do. Reduce the price. Okay, so let's look at this one. Okay, so it might be worth 480, but the fact that it took 27 days and no offers yet, it's been on market 54 days now. They just reduced the price recently, so we'll see if they get an offer. If they don't get an offer within the next week or so, they might reduce the price again. Okay. If your offer is accepted, you agree responsible technology fee, checking the settlement, disbursement, submit buyers. Yeah. Okay. So never went pending. This home has never went pending, and they just reduce the price. Okay. So this is typical. This is what's going on. If they don't reduce the price and it's been over 30 days, then you go and submit a price reduction offer. All right. But these are the type of homes you guys should be targeting right now if you guys are looking for a way to find a home that's affordable for you. Okay. After you guys buy down the rate, like what Lisa mentioned, it's important to target these homes because then, like I said, okay, you guys might be able to negotiate seller credit so that they can buy down your rate for you. It doesn't have to come out of pocket. Okay. All right, let's look for another home. This is fun. Hopefully, you guys are learning something. Okay. Hopefully, you guys are learning something. Oh no, I'm going back to comps. Okay, let's go down the list. Okay, this one's been on market for 53 days. Okay, let's look at the property history. This home was on the market in May for $441. They reduced the price 18 days later to $430. And then on day 40, they reduced it again, $3,000. Okay. Well, let's find out if it's worth that amount. Oh shoot, what did I do? Wait, what is it doing? Okay, there you go. Okay. Let's look at the comps. Okay, see how much this home is worth. Yeah, I think this home is way overpriced. Because this home sold for $415. It's a little bit smaller. Okay. Yikes! This one's going for $650. Oh, no wonder it's on 2 acres. Okay, that's why. All right, that's why. Okay, 2 acres. So it's not apples and apples. Okay, so let's look at this 415 one. See how good looking this one is. Oh, this one's nice. It's cute. Remodeled. Okay. Look, 4 days on the market. Sold. Sold for 15K over. Okay, so this is a good comp for this. Okay, so let's find out why this one's not selling. Okay, because for sure this one's overpriced. It's still overpriced. Okay, been on market 53 days. There you go. See, it's from Open Door. Okay, you guys already know. Okay, yo, Lisa's smiling. Open Door and Zillow buy homes to flip. Okay, you guys heard me and Lisa talk about it here a lot. And when they buy, they don't buy at a discount like traditional investors. They buy super high. And then they sell for even higher. So let's see how much these people bought it for, okay? Open Door. They normally buy high and they sell high and it doesn't sell. It stays on the market and they reduce like this. But it's still overpriced from the comps that you guys just saw. So let's go look at how much they bought it for. So you guys can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so they bought it for 417. 417 in March of this year. Okay, 417, and now it's on the market at 418. So man, they're making 9K, and it's still not worth this price. That's why it's sitting on the market. Because from what I remember, Open Door homes, they don't really do a lot to the home. This is virtual staging, okay? I know it looks nice, but it's virtual staging. So when you go there, it's not going to be here. Okay. It's digital. So that's original. The countertops are original. They didn't do much. This is laminated. It doesn't look bad from the photos, but from what I know Open Door to be, they do the bare minimum remodels. Really? They just paint. They just paint and clean. That's it. So this is probably original floors. Okay. This is probably original floors. Let's find out. 2010. When this home was initially. Original floors. See? Countertop, everything's original. See, from 2010. I'm getting good. I'm just playing. But yeah, see, so Open Door don't really do much to their properties. They just clean it up. They clean it up and paint, and then they overprice it. So that's why this home is sitting on the market for a long time. Listings for Open Door, they don't normally negotiate. they're very stubborn because they're like a big hedge fund company that buys a lot of property, so they need to make money. And because they're already buying it so high, so they're not going to negotiate. So this home in particular, you will not be able to reduce it down. You're going to have to wait for Open Door to reduce it on their own terms and then buy it once it's worth that amount. Okay. But that's it. It's already an hour. I didn't even realize it. Gosh. I'm gonna bring Lisa back on. Hopefully you guys can bear the echo for the last couple of seconds. But hopefully you guys kind of get an idea of what's going on and what homes to target. Remember, recap. Understand your market. 2, talk to your lender to see how much of a buy down rate you could qualify for and how much the fees are going to be. After you know your numbers and you get qualified, find a home that's been on the market for over the average days on the market. That home should have already been sold. In this case, 30 days.
Yeah.
The reason why 30 days is because those sellers are motivated. They need to sell. They still paying their mortgage and utilities, so it's eating at their net. So they're more willing to negotiate the price. Okay. So you target those homes so you can ask them for seller credit to buy down your rate so you don't have to do it for one. Or reduce the price. Or do repairs on the home that needs to get done. Maybe the roof, maybe dry rot, maybe HVAC. I don't know. But don't expect a remodel. I'm just talking about repairs here, okay? Target those homes. For this market right now, where it's so crazy high in price, interest rates is not going down. It's gonna keep going up each time the Feds meet. And there's very low inventory. If you're still looking to buy, this is what you should consider doing. So that way you can still find a way to make it affordable for you to become a homeowner this year. Okay. I'm not saying buy every home buy any home that's available to you. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying target the homes that you like that's been on the market longer. And the reason why this strategy won't work with home that's been on the market for 5 days, 1 day, less than 30 days is because sellers are going to most likely take their chances on waiting for a better offer to come in.
Right.
Think about it. If you are a seller and you know that it's still a seller's market, meaning you're in control, and you get 5 offers and 4 of them are lowball offers, or one of them is asking price, that seller can still deny all 5 of those offers and say, I'm gonna wait another week to see if there's another offer that comes in that's over asking. They can do that. So if you understand the psychology behind that, that's why you can't really target homes that are under 30 days. If you prefer, if you are saying, Chia, I already saw all the homes on the market available to me, even the home that's been on the market for over 30 days, I've seen them all. So I could only target homes that's new on the market. If that is you, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, I would say this. Don't ask for a lot of concessions up front when you're doing the offer. Keyword, up front when you're doing your offer. Ask for them when you're in contract. Meaning, if it's brand new on the market, that means you're not the only buyer looking at it. And it might be competitive still. Submit a competitive offer to get in the door. So that way the seller is now pending with you, meaning they cannot accept anybody else's offer, only yours until you cancel or you close on this sale. Once you're in contract, do your inspections, do your appraisals, find out what the heck is wrong with the home. If the report is blown out dramatic, then use that report to leverage and negotiate for your concessions. Credit, repairs, price reduction, that's when you do it. Don't go in, write an offer for a home that's under 30 days, going, I want $5,000 seller credit. I need you to fix this paint chip that I saw when I viewed the home. Drywall was really bad, so fix that too. Roof is bad, so fix the roof. Like, don't go all in like that. And you guys are probably saying, "Chia, but if I don't ask that up front, then What if they don't do it? Then I wasted my time. You have to look at it like this. Every home, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to cancel. But keeping majority of your money should be the priority, meaning you're getting your deposit back. That's your highest a dollar amount that you could get back if you cancel utilizing your contingency rights, okay? And if you do that carefully, then you might be able to find a deal with these homes that's just hit the market, but it's very unlikely. Okay, your chances are higher with home that's been on the market for over 30 days. Because I'll tell you this, investors, they normally buy properties cheap, right, Lisa? Because they have to make money. So they have to buy at a discount because they're going to fix it. And then they put it on the market and then flip it at a higher retail value after the remodel is done and make money from that, whether it's 20%, 10%, 30%. So what type of homes do you think they're targeting? They're targeting homes that nobody wants. They're targeting the home that's been on the market for a long time. They're targeting a home that smell, stink, ugly, the ugliest home on the block. Investors do that all day long to be able to afford discounted homes, to be able to find and buy discounted homes. But you, as a first-time home buyer, might not want to go through all the legwork of doing what an investor does to find that deal. So you're stuck with something like this, first-time home buyer. If you're a savvy buyer or investor, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to first-time home buyers that don't have the time to go out there and door knock, call sellers, send newsletters, like all of that. If you don't have time to do that, then and you're stuck with home that's on the market, this is a strategy you should think about implementing. What do you think, Lisa?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, guys, it's about getting you into the game. If you're not currently a homeowner, remember inflation hits everybody, not just mortgage, which means that the investor in, is buying a house, their interest rate is actually quite higher. Okay. So if their mortgage is higher, they're going to have to look at it as like, am I going to get that cash flow? So they have to increase that rent as well. So as mortgage rates go up, rent prices also go up. So either you pay the piper, you pay the landlord, or you pay yourself.
Mm-hmm. But with that, we're gonna close out. Okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's live stream. And consider utilizing some of the strategies me and Lisa mentioned today. Okay. But if you guys are still in the market to look to buy, good luck to all you guys. Be persistent. Listen to your agent. They're your agent for a reason because you trust them. So listen to their advice, okay, on what they think is best for you. And find out how much it's going to cost for you to buy down your rate. Okay, talk to your lender. If they didn't mention it, shame on them. Mention it. All right, and see if it makes sense for you. But we're gonna let you guys go now. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for all the comments. Peace.